from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Henrico students made strides on the SOLs last year, but they still have a lot of work to do. We'll tell you all about it in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Friday, August 19th, 2022. It's brought to you today by the law firm of Barnes & Deal.
And now for the news.
Henrico students made across-the-board improvements on their Virginia Standards of Learning and other assessment exams during the 2021-22 school year, but their overall proficiency levels remained below the state averages in 4 categories: reading, writing, math, and history, and they were even with the statewide average in science. It's all according to data released yesterday by the Virginia Department of Education. Now, overall, there were 29 individual grade or course level SOL tests administered in those 5 academic subjects, and Henrico students were below the state average in 22 of them. They were even on 4 others and ahead of their statewide peers on only 3. Those were Earth Science, World History 2, and Virginia Studies. Statewide, students made gains in most subjects, but overall achievement levels were still well below pre-pandemic levels. In a press release and later during a virtual press conference with media members, the 2 highest-ranking education officials in the state made it very clear that they attribute most of that to the continuing impact of prolonged school closures on student learning. State Superintendent Jillian Balow also blamed what VDOE officials have termed the, quote, less rigorous proficiency standards, end quote, adopted by the state's Board of Education during the 2020-21 school year. In Henrico, 70% of students passed English reading SOLs. That was an improvement of 7% from last year, but still below the state average of 73%. In math, county students' pass rates jumped from 48% to 61%, but the statewide average also jumped all the way up to 66%. Overall, economically disadvantaged students in the county passed SOL exams at rates that were between 16 and 21% lower than their counterparts in the county. The figures were similar for Black and Hispanic students, who demonstrated lower achievement levels than their Asian and white counterparts. We've got much more on this topic right now, and also a link to look at the SOL results from individual schools by grade and course level. You can find that all right now on our website, henricocitizen.com. The GRTC is receiving more than $10 million in federal funding to replace 19 of its aging diesel buses with compressed natural gas buses, which release fewer harmful emissions and also help improve air quality. The entity also will get almost another $1 million to demolish an existing building on its property and use it as a surface parking lot to store vehicles for existing and expanded transit service. The grant was announced yesterday by U.S. Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine. GRTC was one of 2 Virginia transit agencies to receive federal funding. Suffolk Transit also received a little more than $500,000. An employee preparing food without washing his hands, another handling ready-to-eat food without gloves, and slime found inside an ice machine. Those are just 3 of the violations reported at Henrico restaurants recently. We've got a complete rundown in this week's Restaurant Watch. You can find it right now on henricocitizen.com. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Barnes & Deal. Barnes & Deal has emerged as a highly respected family law firm over the past 3 decades with the resources, skills, and experience necessary to handle high-asset divorces and other complex family law matters across Virginia. To learn more, visit barnesfamilylaw.com, that's BARNES, or call 796-1000.